Hello, inventors! Welcome to the channel, and today is the day to answer questions. I will take some comments on the channel, and then I will answer those questions, including some questions that people send us on the support. Okay, so prepare yourself, and let's answer some questions. Let's invent. So, okay, let's go to the first one from Romlam. Honestly, I really think you should change the terminology used or describing advertising this, or at least add a disclaimer. Current marketing materials lead average customers to believe this is a true MMS system like the Bamboo AMS, while getting this particular mod to work like a true MMS would take significantly more investment in both labor and money. Okay, first, this is a multi-filament system, and the definition of system is a product or a software that has multiple functionalities. Okay, so this is the definition of system. So the MFS has multiple functionalities. It can dry the filament. It enables you to handle multiple filament spools from the front of your printer. So it is a system. And especially, I can't remember any of my content, any of my videos where I told people that this is an automatic system. This is not an automatic system. And my intention building this product or this project so you can build yourself is to contribute to the community. And in any moment, I thought on trying to create something to compete with MMS or AMS or any other automatic system. Okay, so this is why I call multi-filament system, because it has multiple functionalities and it is a multi-filament device to handle that and help you. And talking about take significantly more investment in both money and labor, yeah, you will have to work a little bit to build it, because you have to print, you have to clean up the parts, and you have to assemble it. Okay, so this is I can't discuss about that, because you are right about the labor. You're right about the amount of work you have to put on building this project, because it is a project that you can build yourself. But about the money, I fully disagree. Sorry, because I'm living in Brazil, and in Brazil we used to pay the double price for everything that we have to import. We have the highest taxes in the world. So when we want to buy acrylic sheet, we pay more. We want to buy screws. If those screws are imported, we pay more. Even the screws produced here in Brazil depends on steel and other materials that we have to import. So we pay significantly more for those products here in Brazil than in the United States. So even like that, we have significantly lower price building something like this, even considering the filament cost and everything. So if you live in the United States, you will pay just a couple dollars to build something like this. But if you live in another country that it's worse than Brazil, the only thing that I can tell you, it's sorry, that is so bad, because living in Brazil, it's not easy. When we talk about product or technology products, especially when we talk about 3D printing. Okay, so one 3D printer that you can buy in the United States by $600, we pay more than $1,200 in Brazil. This is the base calculation you can make. Okay, so making a fully conversion. So even considering that, building an MFS is way cheaper than buying an AMS, even in the United States. Vogue Hansa, hi from Brazil. Thanks for your great videos. Getting my Creality K1 Max this week and super excited. Thanks for awesome content. Thank you very much. The fantastic MRO. I just picked up my K1C. Will I be able to utilize the system, or will I have to get K1, K1 Max? Oh, for K1C. Okay, I'm not sure. I didn't have the opportunity to put my hands on a K1C yet. Not yet. But I believe the structure of K1C, especially on the top, is the same as the K1. I'm not sure. I cannot tell you buy the MFS and build because it will fit on your K1C, but I'm not sure. Okay, as soon as I can, I want to have a K1C to test and make sure that you can build your MFS and use that on K1C. Mark Pod, how does having the weight of spool on the top improve print quality? Generally, keeping weight low down is better. You are right about the weight having low, but when we look at the printer engineering, the head, it's on the top, okay, and it's fixed on the top based on the core XY engineering of the K1 and the K1 Max. Okay, so all the vibrance, all the resonance generated by the movement of the head printing on high speed move the top of the printer. So if you have more weight on the bottom, it's good because you will have more stability on the table where the printer is. But as the top is where the vibrance is generated based on the inertial effect of the head, if you have more weight on the top, you balance the weight. If you compare the printer with a car, you are right. The car must have the lower gravity center as possible. But remember that the balance of the car, it's on the axis, what connects to the wheels. In the printer, the axle, it's actually on the top of the printer. So the center of the inertial effect, it's on the top of the printer. So having more weight on the top will balance that, and then we'll reduce the vibrance, okay? So we'll reduce this effect of the inertial effect. Hector, I live in Spain and I can't find any national manufacturer that makes PTFE filaments, but I found a French one named Nanovia. Is this one that you were talking about? Good question. When I found this filament provider, I remember that on the website they tell that they are shipping from Spain. So maybe can be the Nanovia. I can remember exactly, but I will leave the link at the description, okay? So I can remember right now, but I will leave the link at the description so you can find that, Hector. Renegade Biker, I'm a new subscriber to your channel. Thank you very much. I now have both K1C and I will be getting a K1 Max soon. Are you going to make MFS with 4 spools to compete with Bamboo Labs AMS? I would be interested in it. Okay, Renegade. No, probably not. Probably I will not work on a full modified version for 4 spools, even on Max. What I'm doing right now, it's applying the updates, especially related to the filament hub and things like that, to the MFS for the K1 Max. And that it's because I don't want to upgrade the MFS for K1 Max in a way that makes the people that already bought the MFS for K1 Max to rebuild everything, to print an entire new MFS at this point. I just want to apply the updates, allow the people that already supported this project to have those new features, to have those new advantages. And no, since the beginning, my intention wasn't to compete the Bamboo Lab AMS or the new Creality CFS. So my intention with this project was always to have some way to handle the filament from the front of the printer. So I had the advantage of having the filament drying, utilizing the same heat already generated by the printer to save energy with electric dry boxes and things like that. But my intention was never to compete with AMS. This is an open source project you can buy and you can build yourself with a lower price, lower expenses working on that. And the better thing about projects like this is that you can extend the project. You can adapt that to use with 3D Chameleon or Enraged Rabbit or any other project that can handle multi-filaments in an automatic way. But this is not my intention. My intention is to build something that can help people with handling easier the filament, and that can dry the filaments, especially if you live in a high humidity place like me. I'm living in the most humidity place in Brazil called Curitiba. So probably not. Probably I will not change the project so much that we can feed 4 filament spools inside the MFS. Not at this point. Maybe in the future I can create a full new version. Okay, so D-Now truck. Will there be a lot of parts we have to print for K1 Max version? Okay, so this is the reason why Renegade. This is the reason why I don't want to change too much the project, because people like D-Now truck and other people that already bought the project for K1 Max, they are already using the project. I don't want to make all these people to reprint and recreate an entire project again. Okay, D-Now truck. I'm doing my best to reduce as much as I can the number of parts you will have to print on the MFS for K1 Max. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what parts you will have to. It's I think it's the wrong expression. Okay, you will be able to reprint to apply those updates. Remember, you don't have to. The MFS for K1 Max works very well as it is right now, but with those improvements it can be better. So if you don't want to print those new parts, you don't have to. Okay, so I'm doing my best to reduce as much as possible the number of parts you will have to reprint, including some features like having the door fully sealed. It's optional, so I'm redesigning some parts to allow you to put the foil tape on the border of the door. But if you don't use ABS or ASA or any other toxic material, you don't have to reprint those specific parts. Okay, so don't worry about that. I'm doing my best and to reduce those reprinted parts, but you can choose which one of those parts you want to print to have that feature. Okay, LM Molate. Which K1 Max files should we not print now awaiting for upgrades? It's the same. I don't know exactly which parts right now, but I'm doing my best to have this done as soon as possible. So you can print, you can start using your MFS for K1 Max, and then when we launch those upgrades, you can print only the parts that you are interested in. Okay, and then Dennis answered telling, I guess all the parts which are connected to acrylic. As I understood, beside of this, we have to print additional parts such as the deaccelerator for bearings and adapters, and the additional multi-filament guides the one which looks like the chameleon product. Oh, okay. Especially the parts connected to the acrylic, I trying to avoid making you reprint or recut your acrylic, okay? So I will not change the acrylic sizes and dimensions and anything. I'm trying to redesign the printed parts to extend the height of the printer, to apply the new filament guides that are way better than the first version, and I'm trying to apply the upgrade to allow you to seal the door, okay? So, but I will not change the acrylic sizes or dimensions or things like that. I'm just trying to extend the functionality. Space Bond, my man did this before Creality. Yeah. 2 days before Creality, yes, but the same. I will tell you again, my intention is not to compete with Creality. Actually, I'm trying to contribute extending Creality Print's functionalities with MFS. B Mincher, can't wait for the changes for the K1 Max update version. Thanks for announcing in this video that you will provide it for us. Love your work. Awesome. Thank you, B Mincher. Thank you very much. Stephanie, hello. You have done a great job again. Thank you. Thank you very much. I enjoy printing your design, and I was thinking of an easier way to pass the thread through. So you thought about it. The possibility of inserting the coils this way will be much easier, will be much simpler. Well done, and in any case for this work. As soon as I receive the adaptations, I will print them. P.S. I follow you from Belgium. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Belgian. In Portuguese, we say Bélgica. So welcome, Bélgica, to our channel. Alexander, definitely printing this for my K1. Will it also fit on Flashforge 5M? I'm sorry, Alexander. No. The Flashforge is a completely different printer, and what you can do actually is print in the MFS for the K1, the K1 version, and using that MFS separated, okay, side by side with your printer, so you can make the filament getting out from behind of MFS and then making it getting into your Flashforge, but you will probably not be able to use the MFS on the top of Flashforge 5M because it will not fit on the top. So you have the risk of printing and then the MFS drop from the top of your printer, so I don't recommend you to do that. So using the MFS on the side of your printer, unfortunately, you will not be able to use the heat generated by your printer to dry your filaments, but using the foil tape on the door and at the window on the top, you will be able to put silica gel inside your MFS, or even adapting any other drying system to your MFS and then dry your filament. You will use or silica, that it's a recycled material that you can dry the silica and reutilize that many times, or you can use an electrical drying system to circulate the air inside the MFS for the K1, okay? The K1 Max, that it's a bigger one, you will not be able to do that because the connection to the printer on the K1 Max project, it's a little bit different, and that will only fit on the top of the K1 Max. And the K1, it's a flat bottom, so you can print or cut a wood sheet or acrylic sheet, and then you can screw that at the bottom of the K1 project, okay? Joaquin, when I saw this video of K1 Max, I dreamed of having it for K1. Thank you. Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you for following us. I have a couple of doubts. Could you make a version that can be used to reuse the acrylic cover of the printer? Unfortunately not, Joaquin, because the acrylic that came with K1, it's just one acrylic, and it's very, very specific for the size. So if I have to change the project to reutilize the K1 top cover, probably we would not have the functionalities we have on the MFS project, like where you can control the airflow on the top using the window, where you can just open the door and having the door holding at the top, because the acrylic that has on the K1, you have to remove, put that on a place, then use, then take that and put back. So the intention of the MFS project, it's making your life easier. Like, you don't have to accommodate that acrylic or the top glass of the K1 Max, for example. So you just open the door and you have your both hands free to do other actions when you are manipulating your filaments. So, sorry. Could you add support for LED strips at the bottom of the MFS? I could, but I would probably not do that. That doesn't mean that you could do that. You can design anything that you can adapt to that, to the MFS project. That is the intention of having an open source project, especially if you have the Pro version. You can modify the step files and adapt and extend the functionalities of the MFS as you need. But you can do that easily, designing a very simple LED strip, and then you can screw that using the front screws of your MFS or the side, or even attaching that to the aluminum pipe. You have a lot of different options to design that and extend your MFS project functionalities. And by the way, Joaquin, it's our neighbor from Argentina. So hello for everyone from Argentina, and thank you for following us. Giorgio, how does it work and how does the printer know what filament to print? Giorgio, the MFS is not an automatic filament system, okay? This is a multi-filament system that can dries your filament, that can enable you to handle the filament from the front of your printer, make your life easier when you're handling the filament, and enable you to print using one filament while you are drying other two filament spools at the same time. So to change the filament, you must to pull the filament from your filament guide and then push the other filament to the extrusion head. It's a manual process, but it's way easier than the normal process that you have to do using your K1 or K1 Max, where you have to change the filament from the back of your printer and then push the filament through the PTFE tube from behind your printer. It's an easier way to handle your filaments on your daily use, and it can help you keeping your filament dried. Okay, so it's not an automatic, it's very simple. Pull and push the other filament you want to use, or you can adapt 3D Chameleon project or Rabbit or any other automatic filament changing system. You can adapt that and use with the MFS project. Risquinos, using the heat from the chamber, it's absolutely shit, because different filaments have different properties. I agree with different filaments have different properties, but I disagree with all other things. Okay, let's explain. I have two printers here, and I'm using the MFS since December of 2023. I'm using on K1 Max since December, and the K1 project I'm using since February, I guess. So what happens with different filaments is that different filaments has different temperatures, not only on your extruder, but on the heat bed, okay? So when you increase the temperature of your bed, you are increasing the chamber temperature. So in average, when you are printing with PLA, you have the chamber operating between 35 and 45 degrees Celsius, which is the perfect temperature to dry the PLA, which is the filament type you are using while you're having this temperature inside the chamber. So when you are printing ABS, you are using about 100 degrees Celsius on the bed, which makes your chamber operate between 55 and 65 degrees Celsius. Honestly, I do not recommend in any case that you leave your chamber operating higher than 65 degrees Celsius. So if that is happening, you should open the top of your printer, because temperatures can affect the lifespan of your electronics inside the printer, okay? So if you operate higher than 60 or 65 degrees, the electronic components can start degrading very, very fast inside your printer. So instead, having your printer for 5 or 10 years operating, you can have that for 1 or 2 years, because you are not using the right recommendation or the right temperatures to operate your printer. Besides that, you can decrease the durability of lubrication, you can decrease the durability of plastic components that can bend inside during the user. So 55 to 65 degrees Celsius if the temperature, the ideal temperature of your chamber while you're printing ABS, for example. So coincidentally, 55 to 65 degrees is the recommended temperature to dry ABS filaments. So if you are printing ABS, you can dry ABS. If you are printing PLA, you can dry PLA. If you are printing PETG, you can dry PETG, because the temperature of the chamber will follow the temperature of the bed that you have to use to each type of filament. And before someone came and say, PLA don't absorb moisture, PLA it's immune to moisture, it's not. And I have a video here showing you that. The PLA, the pure PLA material, it has a very, very low tolerance. It has a very, very low tolerance. Tolerance. It has a very, very low tolerance to humidity. One more time, 3D filaments are not the pure material, are not pure PLA, are not pure ABS, are not pure PETG, because they need additives to make the 3D printing possible. The pure PLA, it's very, very glassy material, so it can break and a very, very sharp, small pieces if you try to use it by itself. It's the pure material. So Hyper PLA from Creality or any other material has additives, and depending on the brand, they use more and more additives, and those additives, they will absorb moisture, they will absorb humidity, and that will result on bad printed parts or bad finishing parts when you are printing, okay? So what Risquinho said about the temperature, it's exactly what the MFS does. If you are printing PLA, you can dry PLA. It's not instant drying, okay? It's not something that you go, okay, so I will make 30 minutes printing and I will put other filaments inside, and then in 30 minutes I will dry all the filaments. It's not like that, okay? Even if you have a dry box, you have a time range where you can dry the filaments, because this is physics. This is not something magical. There's no dry boxes where you can take a fully humid filament and then you can put on a dry box and in 5 minutes you have a dried filament, because the temperature needed to dry a filament so fast is the same temperature that will melt your filament. So you must do that with a minimal time range, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So on my experiments on the video where I tested the Hyper PLA on the K1 Max project, I was able to eliminate basically 80% of the moisture in about 2 hours of printing, and after 4 hours I could have a fully dried filament using the Hyper PLA. So depending on the brand of your filament and depending on the type of your filament, you will have different ranges. So on my experience, I took the Hyper PLA and I intentionally leave that on a bathroom with a lot of water vapor to overload the filament with humidity, something that will not happen naturally. So you can reduce that time range to have a filament fully dried using the MFS. So the only way to do that, to prove that, is trying, is experimenting. And this is what I'm doing here on the channel. I'm trying, I'm testing, and I'm bringing those results for all of you. But if you don't believe me, okay, no problem. Buy the MFS, build it, try it, and then prove yourself that I'm wrong. No problem. Okay, I know that it's working. Okay. Okay, all the questions answered. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. We received a lot of messages on the support. So if you bought the MFS for K1 or K1 Max and you need to talk to us if you're having any kind of difficulties during your project, please go to the digitalinventor.shop and click on the contact link at the top of the website, and then you can send us an email. We are answering all the emails we are receiving. Okay, we are trying to help everyone, even when the question is not directly related to the MFS project. We are having a lot of questions related to basic printing principles, and we are answering even those questions because we want to help the community. We want to help you to have your MFS printing in helping you on your daily basis printing work. Okay, so don't be shy, send us an email and we are answering everyone as soon as we can. Okay, sometimes it takes a little bit more, but we are answering everyone. So don't be shy. If you have any question, please send us an email. If you have another question about what I talk here or about our videos, please be my guest to comment here. Your comment is very welcome. So this is all. We are preparing new surprises for this channel. A lot of work to do, and unfortunately I don't have a deadline to have the upgrades applied to the MFS for K1 Max yet. I will only release those upgrades after applying the upgrades, printing, prototyping, testing a lot, and make sure that those upgrades will work properly. Okay, so be patient, because when I release those upgrades, you can make sure that those upgrades will work as we plan to do. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your support one more time. Thank you for following us. Don't forget to subscribe here if you are not subscribed yet, and please leave a thumbs up here on this video. That can help us a lot to make this content reach more people. Okay, thank you very much, and let's keep inventing.